So right now, as I'm filming, it's that time of year where it seems like almost everyone is getting sick. I mean, COVID aside, there's the flu, there's colds, all of that. It's January, it happens. My boyfriend actually got sick over the holidays, which was a bummer. It's not COVID, luckily. He got tested, we're all good there, it's just a nasty cold. But you know when you feel sick or under the weather, there's almost nothing better than chicken noodle soup, especially if it's homemade, right? It's so comforting and it gives you all the nutrients that you need while being gentle on your stomach. For Christmas this year, I got this cookbook. Joshua Weissman is one of my very favorite YouTubers. Check him out if you haven't. And I was very excited to get this cookbook. And he has a recipe for his mom's chicken noodle soup. And I wanted to try it, so I followed his recipe almost exactly. I only changed one thing that I can think of, which was I added garlic. Sorry, Joshua. And I also made my own homemade noodles. I did some whole wheat egg noodles. So let's go check out the cooking portion.
So to begin, you start with an empty pot, no oil or anything, and you don't turn on the heat yet. And you add in carrots, celery, onion, and I put in garlic. This method is a little bit different for me because usually I saute my vegetables and my chicken first. But for this recipe, you just put them in the cold pan, just like that. And then on top of that, you put a bundle of herbs. This is sage, bay, and marjoram. And then on top of that, you place your chicken. These are just 2 chicken thighs, bone in and skin on. So normally I would sear these, but not with this recipe. Then you add in your chicken stock. In the recipe, Joshua said it is so much better to use homemade chicken stock. So luckily I had this frozen. That's why it looks kind of funny. But here it is. I'm turned on the heat and it's gently heating up now. Then you bring it up to a boil. Here's that. Once it comes up to a boil, you turn it down to low and you cover it and you simmer it gently for at least 1 hour. It was also different for me because I didn't season it yet, no salt or pepper yet. While that was simmering, I made some noodles. These are whole wheat egg noodles. I'd never worked with whole wheat flour before for pasta, but they turned out great. Pretty easy. After 1 hour, I took the lid off and steamy. Everything had cooked really nicely. So now you take out your chicken and you also take out the bundle of herbs, which you'll see here in a minute. So here I'm taking out the chicken because we want to discard the skin and the bones and shred up the chicken meat to put back into the soup. And then you take out the bundle of herbs and just discard that. It's done its job. Barely hanging on there. So there's the chicken. I took the skin off. And here I'm just showing how easily the chicken just fell apart off the bone. It was still quite hot. That's why I'm gingerly touching it. But look at how easy that came off the bone. That cooking method worked really well, and I'd never done it like that before. It gave the chicken a lot of great flavor, and it was super tender and juicy. You can see me trying to work with that hot meat. And there you go. And then I just shredded it all up really nicely and put it back into my pot that was still on the stove on the low heat, just simmering away. Then at this point is when you season it. So I got some salt and I also put some pepper in there, but I didn't film that part. So you make sure that you get it nice and seasoned with a good amount of salt. And then I boiled my noodles separately and have them ready there in the colander to go in our bowls. And here's the kitchen puppy wishing she could have a bowl of soup. And then you dish up. So I put some noodles in a bowl and topped it with the broth that was filled with the chicken and the vegetables, and it was extremely good, you guys. I topped it with some green onions as well, but you could use whatever herbs you have on hand. It was super comforting, and my boyfriend really liked it as well.
So that recipe did not disappoint. Here's what his looked like. And I think mine turned out really, really well. It was very delicious. The chicken was extremely tender, and I just thought the flavor was absolutely perfect. So if you're looking for a new chicken noodle soup recipe, try this one out.